Welcome back to another edition of Sports Inc. Along with Mark Gregory. I'm Scott Taylor. It was a great week again last week, and we had some good games. And you're gonna owe me a pizza here in a little bit because the SPC did me proud and beat the SWSC. But Mark, the SWSC team that did win was Bolingbrook. It was our game of the week, and they put on another strong showing.
Yeah, and I think just going back on that, I think what it just showed us is that the SWSC isn't as strong either, because I still. The SPC didn't convince me that they're good. The Southwest Suburban convinced me that maybe they're just not as good as I thought they were. But the
top heavy.
Yeah, very top heavy, which is two-team top heavy, and one of those top two teams, Bolingbrook. I talked about it last week. I'll admit, if you guys read the paper, I'll admit it on camera here, I was wrong. I said this game shouldn't be played. I said there's the rivalry, be damned, it shouldn't be played. Scores 46-10, and it's got at 46-3. The Romanville fans were still packed. When Miguel Ford went in and scored that last touchdown, they cheered as loud as when they came out of the tunnel in the beginning of the game. I mean, they were definitely into the game. The rivalry, there was just two rows of chairs with dignitaries, old coaches, former administration for both schools. I mean, everybody was really in the game. They had T-shirts all made up, with the helmets clashing and everything. And hey, you know what? Maybe on the scoreboard it wasn't the same, but even the kids said that despite the scoreboard, Caleb Bailey and the guys, they enjoyed themselves, being part of this and hearing about it, I guess, from their teachers, everything all leading up to the week. So, and on the field, it showed a few things. It showed, that Bolingbrook still is only showing one package. I mean, they're not showing too much yet. But what John Ivo told us after the game is, you're seeing a whole different Bolingbrook team. You're seeing them matriculate the ball now. They're not looking for the big plays. Yes, they had a 90.
I don't think they're as explosive either as last year.
There is something, and now Jaden Huff will be back next week, so that gives him a little more explosiveness. He is kind of a breakaway back, more than Stover and them guys, but he can run away from guys a little bit more. Stover did run away for 90-something touchdown. But Ivo said, hey, you know what? Yeah, there are some teams that are better than us this year. He said, and when we play them, he said, we don't want to give them the football. He said, we want to move the ball 5 yards a pop, just go down the field and not give them the football, and that's going to allow that defense, the young defense, to really get back up and get going. I mean, they still start some young guys. Tough Boylan, and their freshman linebacker though had a pick six, so he kind of got acclimated to the varsity ball real quick. The game also showed me how good Caleb Bailey is. Here's Caleb Bailey playing against the guys who are on his caliber, who are going some guys are going D1, and when you think Aaron Bailey's fast, and you think some of those guys, you watch Caleb Bailey be able to close on him and chase him down, you see just how good he is against a quality opponent.
Well, yeah, that's probably the game that he was going to get recruited on too. When you're playing the top team, they'll have a tough matchup this week again. Romanville doesn't get any easier for them. And a couple of the SWSC games though that went to the SPC teams, Plainfield North just walloped Lockport. Lockport, it's going to be a long season over there. Besides Joliet Central, I don't know if they would win another game this year.
Joliet Central's playing, Scott. I'm not sure right now, I'm not sure Lockport could beat the Stillman.
Yeah, it's a struggle with them. And then I saw probably one of the best games of the area of the night. Joliet West and Plainfield South. It was back and forth. Plainfield South kept taking the lead. Joliet West kept answering, showed some toughness. McCullough had a nice game for Joliet West. Joliet West is, you were right last week, they are an explosive offense. They got a lot of athletes on the field, but they still just don't have that it factor that could take them over the top. They don't have the big, burly linemen. And when push comes to shove, Plainfield South came down the field, scored the game-winning touchdown with a couple minutes left. Joliet West goes on 4th and 10, a fumbled snap, and they throw a 50-yard bomb, completed pass, gets it right back down the field, and they couldn't score inside the 20-yard line. So they're big plays, yes, but they can't sustain one sustained drive all game long. And when you're playing against a Bolingbrook that's going to pound the ball, you can't score in 2 plays and then be on the defensive end for 15 plays. They're going to have to learn how to develop a steadier offense. But Plainfield South did a nice job rebounding, and I think they're going to be okay this year. Ricky Luna is a tough quarterback. They still got to get down. The receivers dropped some passes. He made some bad overthrows here and there, but they'll have what it takes. They're a gritty bunch. And defensively, you can't say enough about Clifton Garrett. You say to Caleb Bailey, Clifton Garrett might be the best defensive player in our area this year, hands down. The stick he had on McCullough was unbelievable last week. and he's just going to keep going. I'm looking forward to seeing what them and Plainfield North have this week, because that's a huge game right now to start off this season with South and North, and luckily it's our game of the week. So, but yeah, across the board, the SPC, SWSC had enough fight, and you look down to, I think another big game we weren't at, but shows how much improvement it was with Bennett.
Yeah, and like I told you guys last week, our good buddy Mike Luder there, told me on Facebook, watch out for Bennett. They're not as, they're a lot better people thought they were going to be, and they showed us that. And
South Elgin impressed me in week 1, and for them to beat Downer South, and then, maybe Elgin was a little cocky there, coming off a nice win over Downer South, but Downer South obviously getting smoked. 0-2 is another big story. Bennett's obviously probably better than Downer South this year, which is really surprising.
It's funny, like talk about too. Here's Bennett who lost their senior quarterback, one of their quarterbacks to Downer South, and they come back in. So obviously there's a reason that guy probably transferred back, because he's probably behind the kid they got there now, who's leading them to wins.
And this is up another exciting game coming up in a couple weeks, and Downers North and Downers South. Downers North's got to think we got this. They're 2-0. They look good in 2 games. We could beat Downer South this year. They have a very good chance. They took care of Morton. They haven't played too strong competition with Lockport not being very good. But, there's some surprise teams down there. And you know what? When we come back, you just sit down and talk to our other reporter, Mike Sandrolini, and he's going to talk about another, Maine South, obviously 2-0, not a surprise, but Maine East, that's a surprise team at 2-0. We'll talk more about them when we come back.
And like Scott said, while he's off, trying to order lunch, I owe him for the bets that we got there. We're sitting out with Mike Sandrolini, who does our Downers, our Niles, we're reporting a lot of it, and Mike's had some pretty exciting games. I guess first, talk to us about the surprise so far this season in Maine East, and then Gabe Corey got the whole family's out there playing for them guys. They might as well call the Maine East Corys this year out there.
Yeah, they've got four Corey brothers all playing on the varsity, and it's really something. I don't know how he keeps them all straight at times, and you've got to think about. I want to ask him this question at some point during the season, if he steps out of being a coach and is actually a dad,
right?
And is he concerned about any of the kids getting injured? Or he's probably not, but just does he look at it from a father's perspective as well as a coaching perspective?
Right.
And I think that's but I guess they're all playing at some point. I know Alex is a starter this year as a quarterback, and he's also working the other guys, all the other brothers in. So they've been quite a story thus far. They're 2-0, and one thing they did have coming in that I think is a real feather in the cap. They won the CSL Lineman Challenge this year, and I think I mentioned in one of the stories that this is probably would be a footnote for somebody like Maine South to do that, but this is a team that they don't have a real lot of big kids. They don't have a lot of talent to draw from them in that school, and for them to actually pull that off, I think it's a pretty good feat.
There's a big pull talent to draw from. Although kids happen to go to Maine South, though.
Yes.
Football players, because there's that overlapping in the thing, and but as historically, soccer players, may go to Maine East if you're gonna play football. If you're in that kind of circle area where you could go to either one of them, the kids do kind of pick and choose, and so. But a lot of it, I'm sure, has to do with with the Corys and just a lot of times when you get coaches' kids out there, they buy into it automatically because hey, they got to, it's dad.
Exactly.
And so when they buy into dad's system, they get their buddies buying into dad's system, and more and more kids buy into it. So, but now a system that no one's ever had a question was David Saris.
Right.
He's been successful, and his speaks for himself. And obviously, they came out and beat Wheaton South. Now, is Wheaton South down this year, or was Maine South that good?
I think their defense, Wheaton South's defense from last year, which is a veteran defense, and basically carried them all the way to the state final last year. They're full of juniors this year. All their seniors from that team on the defensive side have gone, but they do offensively are a little bit better this year. They've got a couple of burners at wide receiver. Ryan Graham is the quarterback now, and I believe he's either the son of Kent Graham or he's related to them somehow. But that's a whole
Wheaton lineage there.
Exactly. There's so many good just the Grahams themselves are Kent was, I believe, a quarterback for the Giants and the Redskins at one point, and then
he was a Wheaton North kid back in the day.
And I believe it's either his cousin or his brother played offensive lineman for the Buccaneers. So there's some. Anytime you get a Graham on at Wheaton, you're doing pretty well. But Wheaton, Warrenville South does have a good offensive line. So they were all juniors last year. Now obviously they're all seniors, but I think their offense will be will be this year what their defense was last year.
Well, so, how about this week? What's on the slate this week, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I believe that Maine South has its home opener this week against Deerfield, and you know what? Another 2-0 team in the area is Niles West.
Yes.
And this has all come about without Jeremiah Jordan running back a kickoff for a touchdown. So he did score one in the opener, and that was on a reception. But last week he didn't have any, and I think there was a running back for them whose name escapes me that scored 3 touchdowns in the first half. So Niles West is really got off to a good start, and they seem to be. The key for them this season is, what can they get some help offensively from somebody else other than Jeremiah Jordan? And they've done that thus far. And they have a running back, Anthony Underwood, who's been doing very well, and he's also I think he qualified for sectionals as a wrestler last year. So
okay, very good.
So they've been doing well, and last week I got a chance to see Niles Notre Dame play. They were a little bit overmatched by St. Pat's last week. I really think at this point Dan Nagood has to. I think he's probably under the gun a little bit because you're coming off of Nick last year, and he was, that he could do a little bit of everything. He could pass and he could run, and I think there's no trouble with Notre Dame's running game this year. Chris James is back; he's a junior, and he was really had an impressive showing against. St. Pat's, even though Notre Dame lost last week. So I think Chris had 149 yards worth of rushing yardage, and then he also caught a screen pass and took that 80 yards. So he's the real deal for them this year.
It looks like they're going to need it with that conference shaking out with Bennett, being jumping up into that next group. So and we know how the top 3 or 4 teams in that conference look. So it looks like they may need to need that to come in. So Scott and I'll come right back here, and we'll talk about our picks for this week. So thanks a lot, Mike.
Thanks.
We're back here, and Scott's got his yellow pad out, so that can only mean one thing. It's pick time. So I guess without further ado, let's get right into see where we stand.
Well, right now it's 22-8 is my record, and you got 21-9 as you. So you get 1 game lead. I got 2 games you picked wrong. The 2 Plainfield games against the SWSC teams. And you had Bennett and I had South Elgin. So, he's wearing you got the Pat Tillman jersey on today.
Yes, sir.
I'm wearing Tennessee Jamal Lewis from way back 2000. I'm feeling old now when you start wearing college jerseys of people that retired from the NFL, you're starting to get old. So I'm catching up there pretty quick. So let's start again with Bennett. They're 2-0. They go to St. Pat's, who just beat Notre Dame. St. Pat is 1-1. Bennett gonna go 3-0 this year?
Yes, they are. Like I said, from what I'm hearing good things. Get to see them in person, but I'm gonna keep going with them guys and keep rolling. And 3-0 for Red Wings.
I don't know about this one. Notre Dame, not a bad team, and St. Pat's took them down pretty good. That leads me to think St. Pat's gonna win this one. They're used to playing those 11 a.m. Sunday games or Saturday games, and I don't know how much Bennett is. But that's an impressive win over a South Elgin team that impressed me in Week 1. I'm going to go with Bennett as well to go with 3-0. Then we stay in the ESCC, and we got JCA 1-1 at St. Viator 2-0. JCA really struggled with Robeson, which is kind of surprising, but will they get this one done?
Robeson's got some athletes out there, and they made a quarterback change at halftime. They brought in more of a running quarterback in Morrison. The whole problem is with them is without having Ty Isaac back there, there's not that. You don't need a spy. Everybody knows where the ball's going to go, and it's going to go to one of them guys. And there's not that real threat of a home run hitter. I mean, You know,
So you got JCA.
I got JCA.
I got JCA as well. I mean, it's ties or no ties, it doesn't matter in this game.
Yeah, and I think Ty might be ready for this week. I don't think he'll play. Maybe he'll suit up if they really need him.
Then we got Lincoln Way East 2-0 at Lockport 0-2. This does not look pretty.
We don't
for
even got
the
to talk
Porters.
about this one. The Porters aren't going to win. I hate to say that because being a Porter, I'd like to see some success over there. But hey, if you can't win these first two games they had, you're not going to beat Lincoln Way East.
Yeah, this is going to get ugly. I mean, Lockport did give Lincoln Way East one of their best conference games last year, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, they somewhat of the game.
We talk about this conference being top heavy. This is the other one on top, so
Yeah.
and they'll stay there.
Yeah, and now a game we talked about. You talked about with Mike a little bit. Maine West 1-1 and Niles West 2-0. Niles West, are they another team that's going to go 3-0?
Yes, I mean, like I said, they're doing it without their big playmaker having to make the plays right now, and it's only time. It's only a matter of time until he does get going to offense, and so once he gets going offense or special teams, they're just going to keep winning.
I agree with you. I think Niles West is going 3-0, and they're going to be one step closer to making the playoffs. I think, though, with that schedule they've had, they would probably need 6 wins.
Right.
But 3-0 is a good start. You go 500 the rest of the year, and you're safely in the playoffs. That leads us to another 2-0, 0-2 match. Bolingbrook at Joliet Central, and unfortunately for Joliet Central, they showed improvement, but they couldn't beat Rich Central, and now here comes the grind.
Yeah, here you get two. Rich doesn't get Revis. You lose 7-6, and gutsy call. I mean, they score. They go for the 2-point conversion, and you miss it. Then they did have some success. They had two touchdowns called back, but yes, now all of a sudden you get into the Brook, and I think it's gonna be nice for some of Joliet Central's athletes to see how they compare up to these guys. But I don't think there's gonna be much of a comparison. Bolingbrook's gonna end up taking on.
I think Bolingbrook's big problem right now is they have not played tough competition yet.
No.
They haven't really. I mean, Plainville South's a decent team, but Lincoln Way East, they play Carmel already this year, and I think they're going to be a lot better prepared for that matchup than Bolingbrook is of right now. But Bolingbrook will win that game, obviously, probably pretty easy. Yeah, here's a battle of 2-0 is Maine East and at Evanston. I mean, can Maine East do what Niles West is trying to do and go 3-0?
I don't think this was going to happen. I mean, it's great to get them going, but Evanston is just one of those teams that's just like some of those, they're just better than they're just better than them. I mean, Maine East is building a nice thing, they're getting a nice thing going. They're just not there yet.
There's no mistaking that Evanston's 2-0 is a little bit more impressive than Maine East 2-0 is when you look at 2 Chicago public schools that Maine East has played. So that's going to give Evanston the big advantage. I think Evanston's going to win this one pretty comfortably, but if Maine East can stay with them and keep it close, I think it gives Maine East hope that, because Evanston's one of the top teams they're going to play against this year, so it gives Maine East hope that they could contend for a playoff berth. Another strong game. I mean, you have Normal at 1-1 Normal at 1-1 Notre Dame. I mean, Normal taking the hike up north. Is that going to be to Notre Dame's advantage?
No, because I think if a worse team was making the trip, maybe it'd be to their advantage. But I think Normal's going to come in, and I think a lot of times when the teams go on those bus rides, they kind of get it's a routine. They get on a bus, they get fired up, they get they're all the way up there, and the other team kind of rolls out of bed and goes to the field. So I'm going to take Normal on their hour-long bus trip.
That's more than an hour up to there. It's probably a good couple hours, especially on a Friday afternoon. But I'm gonna. This is a tough pick for me, but Notre Dame obviously struggled a bit in St. Pat. I think I'm gonna take a safe play and keep picking with you. I have the 1 game lead. I should just keep picking with you. then I'll automatically win. So I'm gonna go with Normal as well. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think they'll pull it out at the end. But this one right here, this could be a game of the week category right here. We got 2-0 Oak Park River Forest and 2-0 Downers Grove North. Big start to the West Suburban Conference. Who's going to win this one?
Let's go with Downers North. I mean, I don't know much about Oak Park River Forest, but but hey, you know what? Downers North. I mean, they've got they have a tradition. I mean, they've still done things. Not lately. They've done things, and so you know what, get the fans, get the students, get everybody behind them, and you know what, they're gonna start pushing through. So yes, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Trojans in that one.
I want to go against you on this pick, but you know what, I'm picking Downers North too until they prove to me otherwise. Right. I'm gonna keep picking them right now, and maybe I'll pick against Downers South even. I mean, the way they're playing right now, they've had 2 solid wins. I mean, not 2 strong teams to play against, but Nonetheless, 2 good, solid wins, and I think that's going to keep rolling. The sophomore quarterback is really coming up big for him.
Yeah.
And then we got 1-1 Joliet West at 2-0 Sandburg. Can Joliet West pull off the upset?
Sandburg's a team that I picked down this year. I picked Joliet West to finish third in the conference. I picked Sandburg. They lost like 20 starters from last year's team. I really thought that they would have to do a lot more to get these their guys up to speed. They seem to be up to speed, and I think just historically as a Sandburg team, when they're going strong, they've proven to be better than Joliet West. So they obviously, it didn't take that long for these new kids to get acclimated to the system. No, I'm to the Eagles.
This is a huge game for Joliet West. Like we said that last week, it's another one this week. How will they respond to a game that Coach Aubrey flat out said we should have had this one? How will they respond? Will they respond and give Sandburg their best shot and at least keep it close and maybe win the game? Or will they get smoked by Sandburg? If they get smoked by Sandburg, I think it's going to be a long year for the Tigers.
One of the problems with Joliet West is for the last 3 years they've been saying, we should have had this one. We should have had this. They've been in so many games where they should have had them. They either had the lead or they had more talent or whatever the case was, but should have had them isn't quite good enough anymore. When you're in the 3rd year after the split, you have all this talent on the field. It's not anymore we should have had them. You got to get them. And that's the thing. And again, if they find themselves in that same kind of a position, Sandburg's a team who they've been there and they get them. They're going to get this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sandburg is going to pull this one out. Hope to see Joliet West keep it close, but I just think the experience level for Sandburg in those games is going to pull through. Yeah, 1-1 Deerfield, a 2-0 Maine South, and I think this is pretty easy for Maine South. Yeah, Maine South's going to romp in that one, I think, over Deerfield. 0-2 Romeoville, 2-0 Plainfield Central, another one. 3 tough games to start the season for Romeoville.
And now you got your sophomore quarterback. It looks like, we talked about last week.
We thought Baby was out last week.
Yeah, and now he got another head injury. He's definitely out. They went, had Calvin Jones get dressed at during the game. He played the first half of sophomore game, came out of the game, went and got dressed during the game to come in there because Jake got knocked out again. So, and for his sake, I don't think he's going to play this week, and so you're probably going to see the sophomore there get the start. And he actually did, played well. He was not scared at all of playing the state champs. He's a big kid. He can run. He's a physical runner. So not a bad player, and he definitely, with a week under his belt, getting all the snaps with the varsity team, might be better. But I just don't think that they can come in and and beat Plainfield Central, the team that I've said all along is in my opinion, gonna walk away with this conference.
And you'll be at that game, so it should be an exciting game for you. Plainfield Central, with Minooka coming up on deck, a huge game, our game of the week next week, people might think that they're gonna take this one lightly, but no, Romeo beat them last year, took them out of the playoffs. Right. Plainfield Central's coming to play. This game is Plainfield Central's gonna take it to them. I don't think Plainfield Central is that kind of high-powered offense is just going to put up 40 points in the first quarter or anything like that. But I think over the press, the time of the game, they're eventually going to pull away towards it by the end.
And and there's no secret with, there's no hatred. It's a fun rivalry. But when you look at the, Jeff Kuna came off of John Jackson's staff.
All their coaches, pretty much.
Right, defense coordinator. Anthony Bordino played for John Jackson, and now he's over there with Kuna at Romeoville. So there's definitely a connection with the two teams. Like I said, with the Spartans beat them last year.
Romeoville River, you play that one, but so Central. 0-2 Downer South at 1-1 Morton. Can Downer South get that first win?
Yes. Morton, again, we talk about, I don't care what records are and who you play. Morton's just not in the same zip code.
Yeah, Downer South's gonna get this much needed win out of their belt, and they're gonna get into a much easier conference schedule in their non-conference schedule, and this should be a good start for them in a way. And I agree with you. Still all perfect picks. What about Seneca? 0-2 Seneca and 0-2 Lyle. We're gonna agree on this one as well.
I'm gonna take Lyle. I think we've said all along, Lyle's a better team than they've shown. Is going again. They've played the big brothers. Now they're getting back into teams where they should.
They almost beat Herscher last year, 17-13.
Right, and now they're playing the teams they should be playing against, and they're gonna go ahead and roll.
Well, these are 2 of the 3 teams I had tying for second, along with Westmont. But I think Lyle at home is going to get this one. I thought all the teams were going to win at home. Lyle at home against Seneca, and then Westmont at home against Lyle, and then obviously Seneca at home against Westmont. So this is when I think that Lyle's going to win and get off the schneid. That sets us up to 1-1 Oswego at 0-2 Minooka. Wow, what a game this is. I mean, this is two perennial rivals that are always at the top of the conference. It's a big game for these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about 0-2 Minooka, and you roll right through the same thing we've been talking about is 0-2, but who have you played? You played Morris, you played Providence. If there's any team that's ready to come in and put it together and get a win, it's the Indians. They're gonna do it this week. They're gonna come in. They're gonna beat Oswego, and they're gonna pretty much help Plainfield Central to that spot because I think Oswego might be the other team that's gonna compete along with Minooka. But I think the next 2 weeks for in this conference are going to be really important because you have Plainfield Central, get Minooka next week. You have Oswego with Minooka, and I think Minooka's going to go ahead and take care of them this week. Plainfield Central will take care of the Indians next week, and then they'll go ahead and vault themselves up.
At Minooka gives Minooka the advantage to me. However, I played against Minooka the first 2 weeks and I was 2 for 2. I'm keeping with that trend. I'm going to go against you this time to give you a chance to even up the score here. I'm picking Oswego in a good game, but I think Oswego's going to have too much firepower. Minooka's offense has just been stuck in neutral, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get going, or else it's going to be Katie bar the door. It sets up 2-0 Oswego East, one of the only teams in the conference that are 2-0. At 0-2 Plainfield East. Plainfield East had their number. Is Plainfield East going to get off the schneid?
No,
oh wow!
I don't think Oswego's East is that good either. So I mean, I think this one's a coin flip, and but I think momentum, on the coin flip, momentum is gonna go ahead and carry through. I think Oswego East will get them.
This 2-0 against 0-2, you throw out that record book for me. And who have you played? Oswego East has not been tested. They've had two easy teams, easy wins.
I agree. We just talked about
Plainfield East has had a battle. Batavia, Matea Valley. Plainfield East is going to win this one. They're going to win because they own Oswego East. They're going to go to 1-2 and be feeling good heading into Plainfield North.
That's it.
This one's Plainfield East game. They need to win this one. I think they will.
Where we talked about, with the who you play, I think that really matters when you have those solid veteran teams. When you have the young teams, I think the momentum still kind of carries through. And I think that
Plainfield East played well against Batavia. They were right in that game till the end.
We'll see. I hope you're right, and the Plainfield team beats the Oswego team. But I just think that the momentum is going to carry through for the Wolves.
We're going to talk much about this one, Wilmington and Westmont. I think we both know Wilmington's going to win this one. Wilmington's the only team. All the teams in the Interstate 8 small division
are
0-2 except for Wilmington, who's 1-1.
And they're Exactly.
And then our game of the week, Plainfield South 1-1 at Plainfield North 1-1. I have a feeling I know which way you're going with this one. Who you got?
I don't know. Anybody got a quarter? You have a Plainfield North team who
should be 2-0. I mean, they gave away that first game with the fumbles.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the Tigers in this one. Again, if Joliet West maybe isn't the team who I thought they were, and Plainfield South was able to beat them, and I don't know. Something tells me the Tigers are going to get them here, and I don't know why. I really think that this is a coin flip.
The Tigers got beaten pretty good last year by Plainfield South in their last game of the season, giving South the playoffs over North. That's a redemption game for Plainfield North this week. I'll be out there third week in a row seeing Plainfield South, and first time they're seeing another Plainfield school. And I like North. They got the quarterback back, they got the running back back, and they hold on to the football. They'll win this game. I had them second place in the conference. That means they got to win this game at home against Plainfield South, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to take this one by a touchdown or two, but I think it could be a good game.
All right, well, it's looks good now. High school football has been underway for a couple of weeks. College just got started. We got the pros starting. Real soon with our fantasy teams getting going. So should be now we're gonna go we're football, and it should be a lot of fun here. So we'll keep coming back here and keep making these picks.
We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the football games this weekend.